The world is full of urban legends, remarkable stories that spread like viruses around the planet, mutating and evolving until no one can remember which are true and which are urban legends. In this episode called Autogeddon, you'll see 3 amazing stories about the strange things that happen in people's cars. First up, Alex and Uma DeSaro bring back more than just happy memories from their family vacation to Mexico. Then Andy Ebner finds himself involved in a very strange case of road rage.
There it is!
And finally, Brenda Frier picks up a damsel in distress, but gets a whole lot more than she bargained for. Watch all 3 stories and decide which ones are true and which ones are false. Find out if you guessed right at the end of the show. First, it's a story we like to call Grandma Theft Auto. Thousands of American tourists cross the border into Mexico every year, looking for sun, sand, sea, and salsa. Californian families flock to the beauty of the Baja, as it's only a few hours' drive away. Meet Alex and Uma DeSaro.
We met in high school.
He was my high school sweetie.
The DeSaro family had one Mexican vacation that they'd remember for all the wrong reasons. At the end of their 1979 vacation, Alex, Uma, the kids, and Uma's mother set out home for California.
We had a wonderful time. It was nice. It was a trip that we'd been looking forward to.
We had a wonderful week together.
So we got underway, and everything seemed okay. After a little while, Mom was a little tired, so we let her lay down in the back seat, gave her a pillow, and let her make herself comfortable. And I thought, well, that's good. She'll have a rest.
5 miles from the U.S., Uma prepares herself for the border crossing.
So I started getting everybody's passport out.
The only one she doesn't have is Grandma's.
I asked Gil if he could please wake her up.
Grandma, time to get up.
You know, says Grandma, tries to get her up.
But Grandma does not wake up.
So he tries again, and this time he does it pretty hard, and still nothing. And I turned around, and she's just sort of very, very still.
Alex, stop the car.
We all got out of the car, and I'm sure everybody, by this time, everybody was feeling something was really, really wrong. Well, I checked her wrist, and then I checked her neck, and I realized, oh my God, she's gone.
Grandma passed away peacefully, but her death sends the family into shock.
The kids were just freaking out. I was freaking out.
I was beside myself at that point.
I didn't want to openly freak out, but believe me, I was freaking out.
As the initial grief subsides, they debate what to do with Grandma.
We decided that we were going to cross the border and keep Grandma in the back seat.
I know it sounds crazy, but we just wanted to get her home. There was no way that we wanted to try and deal with the Mexican authorities, especially at a time like this.
The kids refused to get in the car with Grandma's corpse.
The kids would have nothing to do with it. They were terrified to get back in the car with Grandma's dead corpse.
So Alex, amazingly, just took care of it.
With dead Grandma rolled up and on the roof, they nervously make their way to the U.S. border.
We pull up, and these guys are all standing around the car with these guns.
I was scared silly.
I don't think I was breathing. I had to tell the kids, don't say anything.
Good. The guard questions Alex.
He proceeded to ask where we were from, where we were.
Ensenada. We were just taking the kids out.
The biggest question I think that stopped my heart a little bit was when he had asked, do we have anything to declare?
No, we just have what we came with.
At that point, when he asked that for a fraction of a second, You know, I wanted to tell him what had happened.
Worried about the state of the corpse on the hot roof, Alex and Uma wait anxiously as the guard checks the luggage.
I was watching him through the rear view mirror, side view mirror, and just holding my breath.
And I was just thinking, oh God, please, please don't let him investigate that. Just let them see that we're just a family with kids.
When he gave us the go-ahead and we crossed over,
Have a great day.
we were just so relieved.
Luckily, the guard waves them through.
And that was a huge relief.
It was a fantastic feeling.
But that's not the end of the road for Grandma.
We hadn't had anything to eat or drink. We thought, you know what, let's just pull off here, get a little bite, just kind of collect ourselves.
They stop at a quiet roadside diner.
So we took a seat outside.
And we were looking at menus, and all of a sudden I see Alex is kind of looking.
And we hear the engine start up on the car, and I look around, and it's sure enough, it's our station wagon.
The DeSaros are too stunned to move.
Car just drove off.
And we never saw the car, our properties, or Grandma again.
Disappeared into the sunset, as it were.
So is this story real, or is it just an old wives' tale? Find out at the end of the show. But before then, check out this mini-myth. Mini-myth number 115. Dude, where's my car? When 19-year-old Dan Tanner drives home after a night of drinking, the police pull him over for erratic driving. As Dan is being breathalyzed, the cops are called away to deal with a car crash close by. Sensing a chance to escape, Dan makes his getaway. The next morning, Dan is woken by the police. He lies and tells them he's been sick in bed all night. The officers look at each other, laugh, and order him to open his garage door. Confused, Dan complies, only to reveal a police cruiser with all its lights flashing. So did Dan really cop the wrong car, or are we making false accusations? It's false. This urban legend started in the UK in the 1970s and has been driving around ever since. On Urban Legends, we show you 3 incredible stories. You must decide which ones are rock-solid truths and which ones are built on shaky ground. So far, you've seen the tale of the DeSaro family, who smuggled their dead grandma back into the US, only to have their car and her dead body stolen at the rest stop. But is it real or fake? We'll let you know at the end of the show. Now it's time for our next story. It's called Shoot First. Middletown, Maryland is one of those old-fashioned friendly towns where everybody knows everybody else. So it's an unlikely place for a case of mistaken identity. But it happened to this man. Meet Andy Ebner.
In 1999, I just started employment with Frederick County Fire and Rescue, also volunteering with Middletown Volunteer Fire Company. Middletown's a rural dairy farming, quiet type town. We kind of have a little bit of the we take care of our own type mentality.
But Andy had to take care of himself when he ran into a local vigilante. In August 1999, Andy is on his way home from fighting a nearby forest fire.
While I was driving down Mountain Church Road, I noticed a pickup truck behind me.
Andy doesn't think much of it, but he's being followed.
A couple miles later, got to the stop sign. While I was waiting, heard a loud pop. The back window exploded. I did feel glass shards hitting the back of my head.
Luckily, he's not hurt. And being a man of action, Andy goes to investigate.
Coming out of the truck, I was very, very agitated, angry.
The driver of the pickup behind has a nasty surprise for Andy.
Once I saw the shotgun barrel, my heart stopped.
Andy realizes why his rear window exploded. The pickup driver had shot at him.
I immediately put my hands up in the air, stepped away from the truck, started backing away. I remember him shouting. He was very aggressive, seemed very angered.
The gunman is looking to settle a score, vigilante style.
Yelling to tell the other person to get out of the truck, for me to get away. He was very angry, hostile, waving the gun around. He wanted the other person in the pickup truck to get out, which there was nobody else riding with me. He just seemed very agitated until he figured out I wasn't the guy that he was looking for. And the person he was looking for was not in our truck.
As the gunman realizes his mistake, he drops the vigilante routine.
He had a little shift in attitude where he lost his aggressive nature. He then put the shotgun down on the seat of his pickup truck. And I wanted to know at that point in time, the table started turning. I wanted to know why he was shooting at me, why he's shooting up the truck, what gave him the right to be out shooting other people's trucks up.
Hey, did you find what you were looking for?
The danger passed. Andy wants to know what's going on.
And started to talk to me about why he was out chasing people down.
I thought you were another guy.
He gave me some story about somebody was trying to run his wife off the road and had shot up his house just prior to me driving by.
Realizing it's a case of mistaken identity, now it's Andy's turn to get road rage.
You know what? You just blew out my window! Maybe I got the wrong guy. What are you gonna do about it?
I just expected him to give me some frivolous answer of your insurance will pay for it.
But the gunman has another surprise for Andy.
Instead, he handed me his business card, said everything would be taken care of.
I'll pay for the damages.
He'll take care of paying for all damages to the truck, any medical bills that I might have.
I got lots of money.
That left me out in the middle of nowhere, trying to figure out what to do.
Andy calls the local sheriff.
The police arrived. They took my statement. Seemed to find it kind of unbelievable.
The cops can't believe someone would leave their business card at a crime scene.
I'm not lying to you. You know what? You're gonna take it.
And lo and behold, here comes Ken in his pickup down the road again.
Hey! There it is!
So I just said, there's the guy that shot at me.
The cop gives chase and makes an arrest. The vigilante is later charged with attempted murder and driving while intoxicated.
Make a mistake.
I was pretty sure I was gonna be shot for sure.
So, did the story really happen, or was it just a shot in the dark? Find out at the end of the show. But before then, check out this mini-myth. Mini-myth number 874, Randy Rodent. As a surprise for his son, Dr. Alan Pinto brings home a pet hamster. But during the journey, it escapes into the bowels of Alan's new car. After 4 days of searching, Alan takes his car to the dealership. The mechanics take the car apart piece by piece. They leave food out and set a trap, but the rodent is AWOL. Finally, the garage owner's wife makes a suggestion. Use a female hamster to lure him out. And lo and behold, the hamster emerges. So did the mechanics really dismantle a new car in search of a horny hamster? Or do you smell a rat? It's true. And for their trouble, the mechanics handed Dr. Pinto a $300 bill. On Urban Legends, we show you 3 incredible stories. Your job is to sort the terrifically true from the farcically false. So far, you've seen the tale of the dead grandmother who was smuggled back into the country on a roof rack, only to be stolen by a car thief. And the story of Andy Ebner, the man who was mistakenly shot at by a vigilante and then use the gunman's own business card to help the police make an arrest. But which of these stories are the real thing? All will be revealed at the end of the show. Now it's time for our final story. We call this one Harry Hitchhiker. While you won't find any bison in the city of Buffalo, New York, you can find a stampede of bargain hunters in any one of the city's many outlet malls. Meet Brenda Frier. She's a self-confessed shopaholic.
I love to shop. I don't get a chance to very often, and when I can, I want to go to the best place. There's nothing better than getting the best deal. There's this one particular outlet mall that my mom loves, my sister loves, that's the mall to go to. It has great sales.
But on one particular day, Brenda got a whole lot more than she bargained for. In August 1989, Brenda is on her way home from her favorite outlet mall.
The only problem is you do have to drive through a seedy part of town. I saw a car on the side of the road, which is not unusual, but I saw that it was a woman.
Brenda decides to lend a hand.
Are you okay?
She came right to the car, opens the door, and gets in. Just wasn't natural.
Brenda notices that there's something not quite right about her new passenger.
I could tell right away there was something off.
If you could give me a ride to a service station, that'd be really great.
Those hands were not delicate hands of a lady. Those hands were definitely hands of a man. When she adjusted her scarf, she had this huge Adam's apple. And the more I see, my heart is beating a mile a minute. It was becoming very clear to me that this is not the situation that I thought I was getting myself into.
Brenda never would have stopped if she had known that Tanya was actually Tony.
I knew that I had trapped myself with somebody whose intentions definitely were not what I thought they were.
Brenda can't work out if Tanya is a real transvestite or if it's just a disguise.
So now I'm vulnerable. I knew that chances were that I wasn't going to arrive at that service station. So I was looking around for any escape.
Spooked, Brenda spots what she thinks is her salvation.
As soon as I see the hitchhiker, didn't look like a typical Skid Row inhabitant, I pulled over.
Hi.
Hi there.
I didn't care where he was going. I would have taken him anywhere. I just felt such relief that I had this other person with me.
She starts to make small talk with her new passenger.
Driving along, I'm much more relaxed now.
So what are you studying in school?
Criminology. Don't turn around.
That's when I felt the gun at my neck.
No, just keep driving.
It looks like Brenda's faith in safety in numbers is badly misplaced.
I thought my life was over, and I absolutely just went numb.
The hitchhiker is directing them to an isolated spot.
He went to wave me to pull over. Suddenly, the transvestite grabs the gun, opened the back door, and held him at gunpoint. I was completely and utterly shocked.
Tanya expertly renders the hitchhiker powerless. There's a girl that knows how to handle herself.
I just went from saying my last prayer to suddenly, here I am and you're my partner.
Brenda sorely misjudged her transvestite savior.
Now I'm starting to see her in a completely different light. Like, what would I have done if she hadn't been in the vehicle?
As they pull up to the body shop, Brenda thinks she's seen it all, but Tanya has another surprise for her.
As she's going to get out of the car, she grabs her purse, it tips over, and there in her purse is a gun, rope, pepper spray, a knife.
Before Brenda can find out who or what Tanya really was, he's gone.
I have no idea what she was up to, but I know that I could have been a victim.
What he was going to do with the contents of his purse remains a mystery.
She saved my life, and I'm not so sure that that was her intention when she got in my car.
So is this story true, or is it just lipstick on a pig? You don't have to wait too much longer to find out. All will be revealed after this final mini-myth. Mini-myth number 224, Call Waiting. Would-be criminal mastermind Ruben Karate walks into a Chicago muffler shop, planning to rob the joint. Terrified, the employees tell Ruben the safe is locked and only their boss holds the combination. Being on the pragmatic side, Ruben leaves 2 phone numbers and tells the employees to call him when their boss returns. When the boss gets back, the obliging employees give Ruben a call. He returns that afternoon and finds the cops waiting for him. So, is this clueless criminal caper true, or is it just a con? It's true. 18-year-old Ruben really did leave his telephone numbers. When he returned, the cops shot him in the leg and then charged him with attempted robbery and assaulting a police officer. Now it's time to reveal the truth about our 3 stories. First, it's a tale of Andy Ebner. He was shot at by a vigilante who, on realizing his mistake, gave Andy his business card and then drove back past the scene of the crime. But is it true or false?
Make a mistake.
My name is Andy Ebner, and this is a true story.
After leaving Andy his details, misguided gunman Kenneth Ransberg shot another innocent man in the leg before driving back past waiting cops. Next, it's a story of Brenda Frier, the woman who let danger into her car when she picked up 2 unlikely hitchhikers, only to be saved by the passenger she was most scared of. But was this tale just a lie dressed up?
This is a completely false story.
Hitchhikers appear in countless urban legends, and tales of transvestite hitchers have been around for decades, with one version of her legend recorded as early as 1834. Which leaves the story of the grandma who died while returning from a Mexican vacation. Her family managed to smuggle her into the U.S. on a roof rack, but the car and grandma's body was stolen at a rest stop just over the border. So is it true or false?
The tale you just heard is a false story, not real at all.
Stories of corpse smuggling have circulated since people drove horses and carts. This modern version surfaced in the 1940s, with variations featured in the movies National Lampoon's Vacation and most recently, Little Miss Sunshine. That's the end of our episode called Autogeddon. Were you able to tell the difference between the top-notch facts and the low-down lies? Don't worry if you couldn't. You'll get another chance to steer a course between fact and fiction in the next installment of Urban Legends.